What's up, guys? Welcome back to Imaginate, the series where imagination becomes reality. Let's jump right into it, shall we? So, for the first world, I decided to go with a game I'm currently developing. I'm sure there'll be devlogs out on that soon. But this is a series I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm going to do it. So, the main theory of this game is that it's set in hell, right? Hell, you know that place, nice and dark and scary. And so because of that, we're gonna have red be the main color of this. And I also really thought it'd be a cool idea if we had this world centered around something. And in the game, it's not about religion, but religion is a huge part of it, of course, because it's set in literal hell. So I wanted to have like a cross, right? And this cross is going to be behind this huge tree. This huge tree, right? And I want this tree to look so cool. It's going to be huge, right? Yeah, and it's going to be like this pedestal, right? And the name of the game is called God's Pardon. And ignore my incredible art talents here. And the name of the game is called God's Pardon. And so because of that, the main character finds this scroll from God that says, if she can kill the devil or Satan or whatever I have, might be an Arzgowisha, who knows, that she will get a full pardon from God to come to heaven and all her sins will be forgiven. You know, all that good shit. So she finds this scroll. And it's gonna be nailed to this cross, you know, God and everything. You know, I'm sure some of my viewers have read, you know, that Bible thing. I heard that's pretty popular. You know, religion, yeah. It's gonna be nailed to this cross thing. And I'll probably change the color of the cross. I don't like that background. But I also I think I'm gonna have like a giant, like almost cherry tree kind of. Okay, that didn't work. Almost like a cherry tree kind of, so like, yeah, these are leaves in case y'all couldn't tell. Yeah, beautiful leaves. And so this is what the like final shot's gonna be. I'm gonna have it loop around the tree, like it'll come in like in a circular pattern from above. Y'all will see. But I just wanted to make sure that y'all had a like general idea of what what it would look like. Alright, so let's get right into that, yeah? Hey guys, so first off, we're gonna start in an empty Unity project. And ignore the naming conventions. Yeah, I kinda had a stroke while doing those apparently. This is supposed to say God's Pardon logo, which is, you know, the name of the game. And then GP, God's Pardon logo rel. Yeah, definitely meant to put rel and not real. So we have all this shit right here, right? And the reason it's already done is because if, you know, I actually recorded these as I made them. The world, universe, whatever I wanted to call it. Yeah, my computer would kill itself. Yeah. So just so y'all know, this is all made on a gaming laptop. You know, a little shitty lovely piece of equipment. And like all the YouTube stuff, all the editing, all the recording, all the games, everything I make on this lovely piece of equipment here. And it's not the most performance piece of equipment. Yeah, so it's kind of laggy. But if you don't want that, you should like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Alright, I'm a real YouTuber. So anyways, we start off in an empty world like always. We got the camera, we got it all set up, and we start off with the camera, of course. And this is hooked up to a Cinemachine brain camera. For those of you fuckers that don't know, Cinemachine help move shit with cameras and animation shit. Because I'm too lazy to fucking do it myself. Anyway, because we use a virtual camera and a dolly cart, for those of y'all that don't know, you little fucking noobs, shit fucks, idiots. A dolly cart is a little cart, you see, that's hooked up to a dolly tracking. And the track, well, you'd be surprised, you'll never guess what this does. The cart rides the track, and you hook up a virtual camera to the cart. And then I'm gonna have the camera, you know, look at a specific little object. You'll never guess what that is. And it's gonna look down at whatever we want, the subject, you know, that little centerpiece that we spend that, you know, whole like 30 seconds. So, well, you know, more like fucking 45 minutes on, but for y'all it's like 3 seconds. Anyway, and around it, it's simply just some dust particles for the material, for like some realism. And every time I make these, I always do usually the centerpiece first, but if I don't do the centerpiece first, then we always do the directional light, which we follows with the volumetrics and post-processing and all that stuff. So first off, we're going to add in the visual environment, which is going to brighten it up, like look real, make it look even more realistic. And we do that because we can add fog. Fog is really important. If we don't have fog, then you miss out on a lot of lighting stuff, because, you know, fog reflects light, and that's sick. So we have some fog. I added some particle effects for this, like the if I click them, like the butterflies and shit. And this is all like a lot of basic Unity stuff, like, you know, particle systems and shit. And then we also have the dust particles, which just add another sense of realism. And then after all that, we go back to the volume, and we're going to enable fog. And then I usually add a light cluster. Light cluster is just an ray tracing thing, and it just kind of, in my opinion, after everything's done, it just adds a nice little touch. I can't tell you exactly what it does because I'm kind of stupid and I don't do this professionally. But yeah, after that we have the cloud layer. Now the clouds, I have them tinted red, because guess what? The game's set in hell. We mentioned this. Oh, I mean the underworld, because, you know, no cussing on the YouTube app, whatever. Because, you know, apparently all my fucking content's for children. And then after that, we have blue. Blue simply adds, well, I have it set to another layer of color because I have it set to tint over certain colors with an intensity and threshold. And the intensity and threshold, the intensity controls how bright the color is, like how much the tint acts. And then the threshold controls what color values it's acting upon. Like if it's 0, it will act upon every color, and then as we keep going, it will only act upon certain values. Motion blur, y'all know what that is. I'm sure I don't even use it. It's just a good thing to have on, especially if you don't have it on. I'll use the default setting of motion blur, which, you know, sucks. And then tone mapping, if you don't know what this is, I always recommend using Aces. Aces pretty much does exactly what this is, but this adds a lot of color, a lot of exterior effects that were specific for this world. That's why I'm customizing instead of using Aces. Mainly color adjustments I use for the fire, because the fire wasn't getting that nice brightness I wanted it to, and the trees weren't reflecting as they should. And then again with the dust particles, I enabled some around the camera itself, simply for when the camera starts going, you can see that it's here. I'll show y'all. Let me start up the game. It's going to appear right here, and see, this way you get particles around it, and this is also a response. It's also a resource saver, because I don't have the particles placed every single point upon this path. I only have them on the centerpiece and the camera. So the camera is going to follow it, and since the dust particles are moving on their own, it doesn't look too stationary. It doesn't look quite like they're on the camera. You still have that effect, kind of. But we do have a good bit for resource saving, because otherwise it would just be unplayable. I wouldn't be able to run it. Now this volumetric fog is, and not saying just specifically that would make it lag, yeah, that would make it unplayable. But everything combined would make it unplayable. Now this volumetric fog is something that I only learned recently, and it's really cool because what it does is that it adds these rays of light on the final project. I think they're called Godfrey rays. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And guys, it looks amazing on the final project. So now we're going to show you all is the terrain. Yeah, look at this. Look at that, guys. So with the terrain, we have a nice dark ground. Just use a simple little ground texture for that. You know, some dirt, some leaves, some pine straw. You know, all that normal shit you find on the ground. Yeah. And so the ground is a huge contrast for the sky. See how the sky is all bright and shiny? If we didn't have the ground, the sky would look way too bright, and everything would just look way too bright because of the sky. But also because of the contrast. You can see these rays a lot better now. And then another thing I wanted to do was these trees. The trees I felt had a simple, not these ones. This one just in the ground. What am I looking at? What the fuck is this? That one's just in the ground. Okay. Sure, but the trees, I wanted nice black, like the bark to be black to go with, you know, that like darkness effect of hell, like you sinned, your soul's black, shit like that, you know, all that edgy shit, yeah? And so we wanted to go with that color scheme that I talked about earlier in the video, like dark purples, bright blues, reds, vibrant reds, and the blue is for like this blue flame. I really loved playing around with the shaders. And the reason I did that was so that I could get them to glow like this. See how they're glowing? And again, that's also because of some of the post-processing effects we have on. But again, it's really nice. And then these shrubs. The shrubs were another huge thing I loved, because with the shrubs, I felt like we didn't have nearly enough red as we should. And I really wanted red to be a huge player in color on this. And also, the ground just looked way too barren, way too monochrome. Like way too clean, and it didn't look like there was enough things going on. So I also modeled and added in this gate, and this gate is really cool in my opinion. So what I was gonna go for was this like gate was like part of a ruin, right? Like you're in hell, fire shit, fucking everything's destroyed. And see, I was gonna add debris, but it's like 2 in the morning, and I didn't feel like fucking modeling that. So we have all these shrubs here, yeah. And then this tree line. This is one right here specifically is a huge part of the final like look, because you end up looking like this almost. This is what the end result looks like. So this tree line and this spot right here, this spot was so empty. Look how empty it looks again. Now I could have added more fire back here, but I didn't feel like that would be good. I wanted some variety, right? And then this, I felt there wasn't enough movement, right? Because when you look up here, sure, the clouds move a little bit and the trees sway. You got dust particles and everything, and that's great and all. But yeah, I wanted fire. I wanted destruction. I wanted a little color. Yeah, we all know how much I fucking love color. Like, look at that, guys. Let me turn this on. Like, look at that. You can't, okay? I want to let it run through and then click off. Look at that. Hold on. Looks amazing. That looks fire. That looks fire, doesn't it, guys? Okay. And then, of course, with fire, you have to have smoke, right? With fire, you have to have smoke. So I made a smoke particle effect. Nice little thing. It's got pulse, and it's got all that good shit you like. It's got all the good stuff. Look at me. Look. This is very nice, okay? And so, of course, you also have the wind zone for those who all don't use Unity that much. I'm assuming a lot of my viewers do, though. But without the wind zone, nothing really moves. You can also set the wind zone to affect these particle systems, which I think is just another nice touch of realism. And I just think that's nice. And while I'm not going for total realism, I do like a nice level of it. You still want to feel like this is a world that had thought put into it. You want it to look good. You want it to look nice. You want it to look amazing, right, guys? And then we also added some smoke behind the gate because it almost looks like it's on fire, like it's a whole world. It's so beautiful to me. I really like it. And also for anyone just getting started in Unity, a terrain system in Unity, which is really good terrain system. And I definitely like it. Just make a project and go play with it. That's the best way to learn, guys, is to just go and play with shit. Just mess shit around. Like, take a world and fucking destroy it. Just fucking play with it. Just mess around in it. That's how you learn coding. That's how you learn to 3D develop, learn how to make games. That's how I learned. That's how I believe everyone should learn. And so, I use the terrain system to mass place all of the trees and shit. And these trees, Unity has an amazing tree system, and I love it. Oh my god. And like, it's probably gonna use up a lot of your RAM, especially if you have a potato shit PC like I do. It's not even a PC, it's a fucking laptop hooked up to a monitor. But it's really nice. I love this. And yeah, if this YouTube career shit actually does take off or does good, it'll allow me to do more of this stuff, and I'll be able to make bigger, more inverse worlds. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the final edit of this. And I really hope you like it. This was the first one I'm putting on YouTube, and a fun fact, this was actually made before I made that whole studio world in the intro. God, that intro is so cringy. I hate YouTube editing. But if y'all would like to see like a video on how I made the studio world, or how I made like some of the assets and that, then that'd be awesome. I'd love to make that. Comment that down below. Don't forget to, like, subscribe, turn on the bell. I gotta do that whole YouTuber thing. Go like, subscribe. And also, if y'all would like to, like, if y'all have any ideas for a world, please, please, please go comment them down, or even DM me on my socials. And I'll have the socials thrown up at the end of the video. If you stick around, you'll be able to see them. Or I might even have them pop up right here, who knows? But definitely stay around to see the end edit. It looks so good, guys, especially with the sound effects and music. And I really love it. So, yeah. Let's get on with it, shall we? Let's go see it. Eat your popcorn.